What is going on, Owl House fanatics? Well, in today's video, we're going to be discussing about the recent episode Something Ventured, Someone Framed, which, to be honest, was anticlimactic. I swear, Disney was baiting on people like me to assume that Luce and Augustus were going to be discovering a deep dark secret within the Hexside Academy, but instead, it was more of a light episode made to build more character. Now, obviously, this isn't a bad thing to have, but come on! Gus didn't even use his tunnel for underneath Hexside. They totally didn't just place this inside of an episode and not use it later on, right? But at least the episode did shed more light on Ida's early days and how extremely catastrophic her actions were even as a child. But more on that later. Right now, let's begin with the president of the Human Appreciation Club himself, Augustus. From the beginning, you can already determine just how very little witches know about the human realm and the items within it. I mean, Gus didn't even understand what something as simplistic as a paperclip was meant for. You mean to tell me that with all of the stacks of paper this school probably has, not one of them figured out that paperclips hold them together? Anyways, one small particular detail is that Gus's crown as president honestly made me a bit skeptical at first, thinking that the whole Human Appreciation Club was just a made-up society. Especially since a little later on within the episode, Gus creates his own clone in order to keep up with his illusionist track class, all while his real self conducts the H.A.S. meeting. But even later in the episode, Principal Bump seems to be somewhat familiar with the club, I guess, and when it's mentioned to him, he doesn't show any sign of concern.
So as of now, I'm removing you from the Human Appreciation Society.
Perhaps this was a club that Gus made up on his own with permission, or the society is just this degraded in quality. Who knows? Another thing within the club is the next amity maybe, but this time it's a dude named Bartholomew with power-hungry issues. He might get redeemed within the series, I don't know. He causes a feud by claiming that Gus's club is boring and that his items from the human world is better even though they were so obviously fake. But I guess everyone has the Gravity Falls citizen syndrome, where no one seems to recognize anything unless someone else figures it out for them. So Gus handles this situation by convincing Luce that her ban from the school was lifted and encourages her to come over to prove Bartholomew wrong. Which was simple for him since Luce once again is furious at Ida for not teaching her the ways of magic yet. Ida also still doesn't like the school, saying that Hexside has unique things but doesn't allow it to amount to anything. Is it true? Did Hexside treat Ida as if she had potential but only in the end gave her little to no suitable opportunities? Ida later on decides to go inside of the school in order to kindly ask Principal Bump if Luce could attend the school as their new student. But thanks to her incredibly mischievous past, she first has to prove herself by undoing or at least somewhat resolving all of her historical mishaps. Things like removing magical moving graffiti, apologizing for stealing a teacher's teeth, removing ghosts from the girls' changing room, and a lot more.
Huh. I thought there'd be more.
Now going back to Gus and Luce, they make their way around the school touring while Gus secretly hides Luce in the process from new literal trouble-smelling staff members. And before I go any further, I gotta mention the code that could be seen inside of the trophy box behind the glass. Alright, even though Gus tries his best to avoid getting found out, Bartholomew of all people finds one of the band posters and turns Luce into detention. But Gus finds a way to meet her inside of the detention room by pulling the emergency fire scream alarm and breaks down into confessing to Luce why he brought her, including the fact that being the president of the H.A.S. gives him attention. Not many others respect his place as a student due to his age, because despite his maturity, he possesses a strong illusionist ability, so much so that he was able to skip 2 grade levels and do things such as the shadow clone jutsu in order for them to escape the detention monster. A monster which I'm guessing was supposed to be the big discovery within the school and something that practically brainwashes badly mannered students in a ditch.
You will be a good student.
I will be a good student.
But honestly, for a school for witches, this punishment is nothing. That was the reveal for the episode? Are you serious right now? On a serious note, however, do any of you believe that perhaps Luce underestimated Gus within the Conjuring Night episode when she just assumes that Willow is the more powerful witch of the trio? Willow is especially powerful, but Gus did skip 2 grade levels and professionalizes in illusions. Was he and Willow the main ones responsible for the house moving on its own? Or was it once again the almighty power of friendship? That's something to think about. In the end, Luce nearly takes the fall by getting into trouble with Principal Bump, That is until Gus fesses up and tells the truth. So even though Gus's privileges of remaining as the Human Appreciation Society's president was revoked from him, Principal Bump was surprisingly nice enough to not suspend Gus and allow Luce inside of the school. So far, the principal seems like a caring person and legitimately wants to see his students achieve what's best for them. He was the one who switched Willow's Coven course for her. And apparently he also gave his word to never speak of Ida being at the Hexside Academy to the Emperor's Coven. So maybe this guy isn't fully a part of their schemes after all. It was great to see that Ida also wanted what was best for Luce and helped her attend, but also gave her advice to make sure that the covens don't steal her abilities if she does participate. Towards the very end of the episode, it's revealed that not only did Ida have orange hair when she was younger, but she caused a crud ton of trouble back in her day. And if you still don't believe me, let's read some of her incidences, shall we? At 1300 hours, Edelyn Clawthorne of the Potions Track let loose a pack of feral ghosts in the girls' locker room. They flew around in circles predicting students' doom and shouting out horrible puns like, "What's the ghost's favorite pie? Booberry." Really, that is so... We called in a ragtag team of ghost blasters to clean them out, but they accidentally opened a door to the ghost dimension, which threatened to overtake the city. Holy crap. At 1200 hours, Edelyn Clawthorne raised an army of abominations to start a food fight in the cafeteria after her sister Lilith's lunch money was stolen. The abominations then gained sentience and revolted against Edelyn, forming into one giant abomination and taking over the school. Edelyn, Lilith, and the thief had to form an unlikely alliance to stop the giant abomination from destroying Hexside. At 900 hours, Edelyn Clawthorne hexed the school bells to sing famous pop song "Since You Been Conned." Since you been gone. It lasted for 5 hours and could only be stopped by pitting the school bells against each other in a fight over who's the better boy band. Babies to Boys or 2 Seconds to New York. It was a horrible day, but no one was allowed to go home early. At 1400 hours, Edelyn Clawthorne was at it again. This time, she found 2 giant bug things that really just tore up the place. Oh man, I'm getting so tired of writing these things. And now I'm just writing down what I'm thinking. Oh, I hope no one actually reads these. I am. I should take a day off. It's been years since my overlords let me take a day off. At 1100 hours, Edelyn Clawthorne let the school griffin out from its pen and fed it spicy snacks until it vomited all over the Grudgeby field. Instead of cleaning it up, I ate a donut. My friends are always telling me I should practice self-care more often. And you know what? Why not? I deserve it. And oh wow, I just love how Ida's just scrolling through this like it's her yearbook or something. Now instead of talking about her well over 9,677 incidences, there's one more thing I want to say. I understand that I mentioned earlier about her hair, and I gotta say, does this mean that her hair turned this way due to old age or from the curse? What if her sister, for example? Surely she should have at least a strand of gray hair in her head, unless she's that much younger than Ida. I mean, I don't think we know who the younger sibling is. And as for Ida's parents, the Clawthorns, I can only imagine how they must have treated Ida when she was younger. Clearly, Ida must have been acting this way in school for attention or just out of pure boredom. But as usual, thank you all for participating into yet again another analysis video on my channel. Thank you all for the support. Like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, then that's too dang bad. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe right now, because we need to get on this 200,000 subscriber list, okay? We are gonna make it, you guys. 2020 is our year. So once again, thank you all for participating, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace!